Summer is here, and if you've been struggling with the heat and humidity like I have, I got great news. Mando has just launched something that takes sweat control to the next level. Introducing the Mando Deodorant Plus Sweat Control Solid Stick. It's double protection. Finally, you can get the odor control you demand with Mando. Plus, powerful sweat control. This is not your typical deodorant, guys. This is clinical strength. 2 times better at controlling sweat than the standard one. One swipe, you're good to go. It gives you double the protection you need, tackling both odor and sweat for up to 72 hours. Mando Starter Pack is perfect, especially if you're a new customer. You'll get a solid stick deodorant, you'll get a cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, and for the grand finale, free shipping. As a special offer to new customers, you will get 20% off site-wide as long as you use my code. And that code is Chael. Use code Chael site-wide at shopmando.com. Enjoy 20% off and, of course, free shipping. Please support the show. If they ask, tell them Chael sent you. Oh, my goodness. Can we start with that? So, I'm in a bit of a dark hotel room. But guys, there was nowhere to talk to you at the arena. That place was hopping and bopping and there's celebrations going on. Let's start with Kayla. Because there is a lot on this, but there was also a special treat, which was the addition of Amanda. Now, let's start with Kayla. And let's back up 3 days ago when she mentally broke and could not make the weight class. Back up 3 days ago to where she decided, I quit. I can't make the weight class. Now, that's a very human thing. What Kayla had to go through physiologically cannot be done through physical work. It can't just be done by not putting food in your mouth or putting your shoes on and going for a run. It is a mental testament. It is a lifestyle change. I don't attempt to condescend to you. I just want you to be taken care of. I hope you had food when you were little. I hope when you were at school they gave you food. I hope when you came home you had food in your cupboards. But I think that you did. I think if you were ever hungry, a number of people would have found out and they would have brought you food. I don't think you know what it's like to starve. I don't. And if I'm wrong, and one of you did, I'm sorry that happened to you. But I don't think it did. And the reason I tell you that is there is a difference in being hungry and needing something to eat. There's a difference in being hungry and wanting something to eat. When you are starving, which is what must happen, okay? Kayla has not weighed 135 pounds since she was a freshman in high school. She won her second Olympic title at 172 pounds. I don't know the weight she won her first one at. It might have been the same weight, but what I'm talking about is think about what you would need to win an Olympic gold medal. You would probably be in the physical peak of your life. She took 40 pounds off her physical peak because that's where the opportunity was. If she's the best fighter in the world, but she's not recognized as the best fighter in the world, does it count? Who's she going to tell? Being the best fighter in the world isn't just that you go and tell people, it's that other people say it about you. How are we going to say that about her? How? She's got to win the world title. The heaviest division she could win a world title in the Ultimate Fighting Championship was 135 pounds, and she took that weight off. So when I said I didn't want to condescend to you a moment ago, imagine how hard it would be to train, to exercise. And maybe you highest level of exercise was just PE class in school. Imagine going to PE class in school on an empty stomach. And then imagine doing that twice a day, every day, with the stomach emptier and emptier. And you're trying to take muscle that you spent your whole life to put on. You've lifted weights, you lifted bodies, you lifted dummies, you lifted people to put on this muscle, and you're trying to lose it. You have to cannibalize your own body. Imagine going to sleep like that. I don't think you know what it's like to go to sleep starving. I don't think you've ever done it. I don't think your parents let you do it. I don't think your schools let you do it. I don't think your neighbors let you do it. I don't think grandma let you do it. I don't think you've ever starved. But you have to really understand that that's what Kayla had to do, and 3 days ago, 2 days prior to the weigh-in, she cracked. And when she cracked, she went to the scale, and she was 1 pound over. She reached her breaking point of, I cannot do this anymore. I don't have the energy. She was 1 pound over. And she found a way. Now, she paid that credit to divine intervention. But either way, what a human. What a human story to tell. You see these people and their decorated success, and she's got world belts, and she's got Olympic gold medals. She doesn't know anything but victory. But she knows what it's like to break. She knows what it's like to give up. She knows what it's like to reach her max. I just thought it was an interesting human story. So she recovers by today. Now, I would like one thing, just because on a personal note, it does drive me crazy when announcers give you wrong information. And announcers will tell you about your brain is an organ, and when you dehydrate, you take water off of your brain, and therefore you can be knocked out fast. Just shut up. You don't have any idea what you're talking about. And 24 hours is a massive amount of time. If you cut weight and you were starving and all these terrible things and you have no energy and you're breaking mentally, and it was yesterday, it's just not relevant to today. And I just want that proven by Kayla. She did prove that. That has always been a misclaim. You don't hear that from people that are in the sport. You don't hear that from people that do the sport. You hear that from people that commentate on the sport that have never done the sport. And that's just the truth. To put this in perspective, when I call it a 24-hour weigh-in, which is what the rules call it, they weighed in at 9 a.m. They didn't fight at 9 a.m. They fight at 9 p.m. So now you're talking about a 36-hour weigh-in. To put that in perspective for you, the NCAA makes you operate on a 1-hour weigh-in, and the NCAA only weighs in one sport in the world, which is wrestling. And you must be on the mat 1 hour after you weighed in. Now, the reason the NCAA did that is to take weight cutting out of the sport. And in large part, in MMA, that'd be a really wonderful thing to do, but not always. I mean, in the case of Kayla Harrison, she had no choice. She didn't cut weight for the same reasons that everybody else cuts weight. Nobody in this sport cuts weight to get to a harder weight class, at least what they mentally perceive to be a harder weight class, or to mentally what they would perceive to fight a harder opponent. They cut weight to get away from what they believe to be the tougher competition. People don't cut weight for honorable reasons, and I'm just sharing the truth with you, but Kayla is the exception to that rule. She had no choice. She had a skill, and she has sacrificed her entire life to be the best in the world at something, and she would like recognized for it, and there was only one way to do it. I just think there is so much honor in that. I really want it recognized what she did. And she cut weight to get to the absolute hardest opponent, who was the champion of the world, in fact, a 2-time champion of the world, Julianna Pena, and your only reward if you beat Julianna Pena is you now fight the GOAT, Amanda. And it was such an awesome thing that Kayla did. You know, I don't want to be a chauvinist, but I am. I don't want you to see it. I don't want you to think I'm a chauvinist, even though I am. And it's very hard for me in sport to look at women from an admirational standpoint, from a I wish I could do that, I wish I was like them standpoint. It's hard. But there is so much character to Kayla. I'll just tell you a quick Kayla story that you don't know. She's managed by the great Ali. You probably saw him in the ring tonight looking like $1 million. They don't have a contract, just so you know. He called her on the phone one day. Said, I believe in you. I've done judo. You did judo. You had Olympic dreams. I had Olympic dreams. I hope that's good enough for you. Come with me. I can make all your dreams come true. And they worked, whatever they worked out, over the phone. And she writes that check to Ali every time, even though from a legal perspective, it would be very hard to enforce. I think that that's very honorable, and there's not a lot of that in our sport. This sport is supposed to be about that. It's supposed to be about honor. It's supposed to be about respect, but it's not. Those are just words. And those are just words that were created in Hollywood by people that weren't real fighters. And I'm just telling you the truth. And when you run across somebody like Kayla, who is the real deal, they deserve to be recognized. Kayla has 2 kids. And Kayla has never been pregnant. Now, I knew this story for a long time, but I've never told you guys this story because it just wasn't my story to tell. She went on a completely different platform. She went on a huge show, the guy called Steven Crowder, a very good friend of mine. And she told the story of Steven Crowder, but the MMA community never knew it because she never told it to them. Even though this was out there, she never told. So I never told it. But she's told it tonight, and I would just like to remind you. She has 2 children that she has raised. She has never been pregnant. She adopted these children from her sister, who had some pretty serious issues with addiction. Immediately when that happened, I think the sister might have even dealt with an incarceration because of this. The mother, Grandma, was going to take the kids in, but Grandma's husband died. So now Grandma's trying to figure life out. And Kayla grabbed the 2 kids and has been their mom ever since. And I'm just speaking to the character. You know, every now and then in sport, there are good ones. Every now and then there are people that you can admire. For the most part, they'll get portrayed like that on TV. And if you ever meet them, you're going to meet a real scumbag and leave disappointed. But there was something very special about Kayla. And I haven't spoke about her performance tonight. I haven't spoke about the effectiveness of her trips. I haven't spoke about her ability to close distance on somebody that's very hard to close distance, which is Julianna. There was also a respect and even a fear by Julianna. I've never seen Julianna scared before. And scared can be a provocative word in the fight business. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. But you're a human being. And so maybe we can call it a nicer word that's not a pejorative, and we can just call it respect. But Julianna respected Kayla. And my wish for Julianna is that she would have tested the range with some 1s and 2s, changed elevation, and blasted her with a double. I think that Julianna, I know if they were doing a straight-up wrestling match, Julianna would win. I believe if they did a grappling match, Julianna would win. But I don't get to tell you that because Julianna didn't test that tonight. She had a different belief about Kayla. She had a different strategy. There was nothing wrong with it. 2 girls went out and fought. It was a fair adjudication. There was a strange spot in the fight where Julianna fouled Kayla, and she fouled her twice. It was 1 movement, but 2 fouls. She kicked Kayla when she was down, but she kicked her with the right foot, then she kicked her with the left foot. So, I mean, she did it twice. The referee had no choice but to call this. But a referee does have discretion if he wants to take a point away. Most referees don't. When the referee takes a point, the referee is signifying that they are calling that an illegal foul. In the event of an illegal foul, Kayla Harrison does not need to continue the match. To give you the most recent time this has happened in a title fight, it was when Aljo was fouled against Peter Yan. Peter was disqualified. Aljo took his belt away and went on to defend it more times than anybody. Aljo was the right guy, but that's how that fight came to a conclusion, and Kayla had that option tonight. And it was one more thing and one more piece of character by Kayla that got tested. And one more thing where she said, no, I'm not going to win that way. After that, and you have to understand, at least in theory, if somebody fouls you from a downed position, it's because they don't want to be in the downed position. So the referee somewhere in this, in taking the point and declaring this an illegal hold, restarted the gals on the feet. So now, Julianna, who at least in theory did this foul because she didn't like the position, is now out of the position. She got rewarded for it. I must tell you, in New Jersey, which is only one of 2 states in all of America, Missouri, oddly, being the other place that does not recognize the unified rules, I must tell you, I can't declare that the referee did that wrong. A really good referee. I thought he got lost in the moment. But I've talked to some officials afterwards, and they said, no, not necessarily. That because New Jersey doesn't go by the unified rules, it has to be declared a dominant position. I must tell you, I have the foggiest idea what a dominant position is. I worked really hard to put people in that exact position, and I felt I was dominating when I had there, but that's not what it means. MMA's got some rule for what an effective strike is. I've not had the foggiest idea. I've never been hit in my life that wasn't effective. They all hurt. 100%. I don't know what a takedown is. I know what the NCAA says it is, and I know what the Olympics say it is. But MMA calls a takedown something different. I mean, I must tell you, there's a page in the rules, as well as I know the rules, that I've never even seen. I've never even seen the page. I don't know what chapter I would thumb to find out what a dominant position, an effective strike, or an MMA takedown is. I don't know where I would go. So I just bring to you that Kayla struggled tremendously to make weight, but she did it. There was 4 bantamweights on display. Merab, Sean, Kayla, Julianna. 5 days ago, they were all weighed in, and the heaviest of all of them was Kayla. And the first to make weight was Kayla, who then could have taken the belt, fair game, and taken it by disqualification. Fair game. But she didn't. Just like she didn't leave those kids behind. And I guess I'm supposed to tell you what a great fighter she is, but I'm enamored by her as a human being. And it's nice in sport every now and then to have a good guy.